Welcome to the Stronger Leader podcast, home of the hashtag Stronger movement, where we explore the fascinating tapestry of human experience. I'm your host, Tony Cardello. Each episode, we'll sit down with a remarkable guest to dive into their unique journeys, from successful business leaders to individuals who have faced the darkest of times and emerged stronger, even from some of the inspiring youth of this emerging generation. We'll also cover essential topics on marriage, leadership, as well as spiritual, physical, and mental health, all in hopes to provide you with the tools and motivation to navigate your own life's challenges. Whether you're here to learn, grow, or simply be inspired, there's something for everyone. So get comfy, settle in, and join us as we embark upon this journey together. Don't forget to hit that like and subscribe button as well. Turn on the notifications so you'll know whenever we drop new content. All right, let's get started. Welcome to the Stronger Leader podcast. It's your host, Tony Cardello. I'm here with one of my best friends in the whole wide world, Amy Walters Streeter Davis. She's now Amy Davis. Welcome, Amy.
Thank you. Thanks for having me.
I have fun with that. The first guy did, he said, how long did it take you to come up with that? I said, nothing, you just hit the button. It's already preloaded on here.
I love that. It's so funny.
It's good stuff.
Yeah.
Well, Amy, gosh, man, it's been so long.
I know.
And I'm super excited really just to get to hang out with you and chat and catch up.
Yeah, me too.
About all the things, you know,
Yeah.
we don't have to talk about anything in particular, but, it's been a long time. You know, when I was trying to think the other day, like how old I was when we first started hanging out.
I thought you were like 19, 20.
Gosh.
No,
let's
you
see.
had to be 21 because we were going to the bar.
No, that doesn't
No?
matter because I had a fake ID. So,
Okay, well,
yeah, I don't know. Let's see. How could we find a date here? So I probably was 20 or 21.
Yeah.
Yeah. I'm 40, so 25 years. Holy smokes.
well, I was at Apple One in 01,
Okay.
I think.
Well, I got arrested in 01. So you had to have been
Okay,
before
so
that.
then it wasn't. Then, yeah, because you got arrested
Because I worked
in
with you,
01.
remember? Remember I worked at Apple One with you?
Okay,
You got-
no, that's right. I got married, I think, in 01. Oh my God, I can't
my
remember. I think it
gosh.
was 01 that I got married. So then you got arrested shortly after.
Yeah,
Yeah.
01, June 29th, 2001 is when I got arrested.
So how many years ago is that?
That was
2001.
so 01, yeah, 04. Gosh, man, 20. Well, here, listen, I think it had to be in 99 or 2000 when we became friends. So it's
Yeah.
at least we'll call it at least 25 years.
Yeah.
So a lot of time.
Long time. Yeah.
And a lot of fun nights and
Yes.
fun memories. Well, like the spirit. So this is September 30th, and it's the last day of September, and it is Suicide Awareness Month and Suicide Awareness, right? Is
Yeah.
that what they call it? Yeah. And your story is one of some remarkable strength and power and perseverance, and a lot of darkness and a lot of
Yeah.
things you've been through, and you are so courageous enough to come on here and chat with me about it. And like I told you before, I think it's going to bring a little bit of I don't want to say closure because I don't think I'd ever really necessarily needed closure, but a time that I never really got to really talk to you and
Yeah.
connect with you about the days and what happened and stuff like that. So I'm kind of looking forward to that. I know it might be a little emotional for one or both of us, at least me for sure. But nonetheless, So let's talk about you are currently married.
I am currently married.
Okay, and you have 3 kids,
I have 3 kids.
2 grandkids, 3.
One.
One.
Just one.
Courtney's only had 1.
She only had one, and
Okay.
I'm not sure if she's going to have any more.
Okay, all right. Why? Because she's had enough. Like,
I don't know. He's her world,
Yeah.
right now, and
Yeah.
that's all she can really focus on. I think her husband wants one pretty quickly, but they're going to Ireland.
okay,
So, should I take my gum out?
you can whatever. Yeah,
Okay, well, I didn't know if you wanted me to.
yeah. I don't care. It
Okay,
doesn't matter. Yeah,
I'll swallow it.
Yeah. I don't care. Did you just swallow your gum?
Yeah,
Here,
I will.
here,
No,
here.
it's fine.
Hold on, I'll throw it away.
No, it's okay.
Here, I'll get it. Wait, don't swallow. Don't swallow your gum.
Here,
It
I'll
sticks
just,
in your stomach.
I'll just toss it to you.
I don't.
I feel like I was. Thank you. So yeah, she only has one, and I'm sure they'll have another one, but And I have
Turn the lights out on me.
I have 4 stepkids, so we have 7 kids between us.
Hey.
Yeah, it's a lot. So, but it's great. I mean,
So what are the age ranges on all the kids?
Raymond this is going to date you. He's 31, almost 32. Yeah. And he's the oldest. And then Dominic's the youngest. He's 19.
19.
And so they're all in between. So.
Okay. And then what about, Brent's kids are, what's the ages there?
He has.
How's his oldest?
29. Haley's 29. And then he has a 28-year-old Jordan. And then twins, boy-girl twins that are turning 24 on the 9th of October.
That's great.
Yeah. And then Dominic will be 20 on the 9th of November. So.
Gosh, you guys are busy.
I know.
Lots of birthdays.
It is a lot. Brent's birthday's on Saturday, so.
This coming up.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So it's.
How old is he going to be?
51.
There we go.
Yeah.
I love it. That's great.
51 years young.
50 wonderful.
Yes.
Okay, tell me now what you're doing for a career. What, are you still in the HR world of sorts?
No,
Administrator? What are
I
you doing
work in HOA, so I manage HOAs.
like for a property company type of deal?
Well, yeah, I work for Century Management, so you probably have an HOA here, right? Yeah.
I think ours is managed by the developer.
Oh, okay, so once it's fully built out, you'll probably
yeah.
go to a management company. That's typically what they do.
Is that what it is?
They'll try to self-manage maybe, but I wouldn't himagine that.
How'd you get into that?
Well, I had been at my job.
Because you were at Suchi for a while.
Well, I was at Encore, and they had me at Sioux Chief as the HR person. But then I was at, my God, where was I? I was doing HR for Spencer Reed, which Encore is part of Spencer Reed.
Got it.
And I had been there almost 14 years. And the CEO came in and said, we're downsizing. And this is right at a year after Raymond died. So, yeah, it was pretty tough, but it was probably the best thing that could have happened to me because I was just kind of stagnant.
Yeah.
So I needed a change. And, a lot of people don't make that change on their own. They're too scared to make that change, especially when they get to a certain age. So, it was kind of forced upon me. So it was a good decision.
Good.
That was not my
Yeah.
decision.
Yeah. It's
so,
a blessing in disguise, we'll call it.
Was.
Good. Awesome. And so tell me a little bit like day to day. What's work look like? What are you doing? Who do you deal with? Do you deal with homeowners?
Oh, God. I deal with homeowners, vendors, boards. I do a lot of talking.
Who do you primarily report to? Do you like a developer or how do those things even work?
No, so
does a developer sell the HOA to like how do I don't?
So a lot of the ones that we have are already established HOAs, and they go from management company to management company because a lot of management companies just don't really care about your HOA. They don't. They don't have no ties to you, and they don't care about customer service. And as far as when it depends on like how, I don't know. I think we were down to like the last couple lots before they decided, okay, we're going to go ahead and push it off to a management company. Yeah. There's usually a percentage, I think. It's a percentage of lots that are left open, and then they decide we're going to start transitioning into a management company.
So then you guys handle everything, like if there's a pool. And you got to do all the groundskeeping.
All the grounds, the pool.
You sub all that out, or do you guys have your own people that do that?
No, when I went to TN Group, TN sold to Century. So when I went to TN in 2018, February 2018, they had a maintenance department that did a lot of the maintenance side of it. And then they sold to a very large company. He sold to a very large company, Century Management. And so, corporations are a little bit different than small.
Sure.
Yeah. I don't know. It was just a different feel. It's definitely a different feel being such a nationwide company. But yeah, we hire out vendors and, lawn and landscaping and pool vendors, and we have a lot of condos, we have a lot of villas, and then single family. So
cool.
Yeah, it's not really.
Do you like it? I mean, do you just?
I do.
Keeps you busy.
I do like it. I don't like the nasty homeowners. They're nasty. They're awful, and
so entitled, right?
We deal with a lot of high end homes. So yeah, they think they're, they can treat you any way they want.
Yeah,
But
right. They act like you're the one
yes.
cutting the grass. And
yeah, the lawn clippings, and it's just really a gross.
Yeah.
It's gross to see people like that.
Yeah, I get that, no doubt.
I've acted that way in the past, and being in this job kind of makes me.
You're like, oops.
I'm like, oh God, what did I do?
Sorry.
Yes.
You feel like calling the old.
Yeah.
Hey, you don't remember me? I lived at 8.
Sorry about that. Yeah. Or being nasty to a waiter when the kids were serving. I'm like, it's just kind of when you see your kids go through something like that, and you see somebody being nasty to your kids. It's like, God, did I act that way? So yeah.
Yeah, that's good. Good perspective.
I've had a lot of growth, but I think I'm going backwards right now because I think I'm going through menopause. So I'm not very nice to be around these days. It's not fun.
Oh, goodness.
Ask my husband.
Speaking of your husband, what's he do?
He's an IT. He
Okay,
is a
that's what I thought,
software
yeah.
developer.
He's one of the smart guys.
Yeah, he's the smartest man I know. He's amazing.
That's good.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's pretty
He really is.
I like
He
it.
does everything. He does the laundry. Well, I don't want him to do the laundry, but he will.
Okay, next. On to the next thing. No.
Let me get Dominique down here.
Don't worry, I'm going to edit that part out.
That's fine. He does everything, though. He'll do anything. I don't have to lift a finger if I don't want to, and I don't want to.
Yeah, that's well. Listen, if anybody
different.
deserves it, you
Thank
do.
you. It's
Yeah,
definitely
for sure.
different than what I'm used to.
Yeah.
What I was used to.
Yeah, right. Well, so Raymond, your ex. For those of you that don't know who are watching the purpose we're on here, Raymond was probably one of the best friends that I've ever had, and he unfortunately suffered with some mental health stuff and ended up taking his life, and just a devastation to a bunch of us, obviously including his family. And the purpose of this message would be for somebody that may be going through something like this, whether you're the person considering suicide or if you're a family member that's dealing with a family member that's going through it. We hope that you can find some strength from Amy and what she's been through, and it's a really remarkable story. And also to know that Raymond, unfortunately, and for me as his friend, I've learned that I probably didn't, knowing what I know now about the subject matter, I wasn't there for him, and maybe that's what people do. They get in those positions and they think that no one's there for them. They don't understand. And as a man, and Raymond was a man's man. I mean, he was an alpha. Took care of, handled his business. He was a good dude. And so, he probably felt like nobody wanted to hear his problems, and he had to internalize and deal with the stuff himself. And so that was tough. So if you're struggling with that, it's not the truth. You aren't alone. There's people out here. Certainly reach out to me and anything I can do to help, and whatever. But so we'll kind of walk through a little bit of that. But I think some of the backstory of the fun stuff first is appropriate. So. Do you want to tell the story about how we met? I think
You probably. Well, I was the one that was nasty to you.
Yeah,
Again,
you weren't really nasty. You were just straight.
You were sitting in one of the
kids' chairs
on my porch. I think I came home from work, and I don't know exactly what I said to you, but I remember you saying, "Do you think that men and women can be friends platonically?" Like that was one of the first questions that came out of your mouth, and I was like. I don't even know what I said.
I don't know.
I don't either. But I'll never forget that. But I don't know how mean I was to you.
You weren't that mean. It was something to the tune of basically who are you?
Yeah, well,
what the hell are you doing here? What do you want?
Yeah,
you're sitting in my kid's chair that's for little bitty kids.
Yeah,
and
get
you're
off
a grown
my porch.
man.
What are you doing?
So yeah, that was Amy and I's first encounter, and I think it was love at first sight. We became best buds.
It was
thereafter.
Honestly. I figured out that, yes, you can be really good friends with someone without being in a relationship. And it worked really well for both of us. We were the best of friends.
Yeah, for sure. All right, some stuff we don't have to talk about on air, but we certainly can off camera. Some good nights. So, a little bit of backstory. Raymond and I were both pretty heavily involved in the drug scene, both from a partying standpoint and dealing drugs and just all that comes with that lifestyle. And we shared some moments together, and there was a time when some of you may know my story, and eventually I will be on here and share it. But there was a time that I actually got arrested by the federal government, and how Raymond escaped that is partly because of me.
I don't know this story really.
Yeah, my co-defendants definitely implicated him in some things,
Right.
and in the world of a conspiracy, it would take my story to corroborate theirs in order to get Raymond a charge. And of course, I didn't. I denied all that, and in partial truth, because Raymond used to hate it when I ran around with those guys. He I don't know, maybe because I was splitting friendship with him, or just because he genuinely just didn't like me with them.
I do know that there was a couple people that told him to tell you not
To stay away from
to stay away from them, but he wouldn't give me. I was very limited on anything he would tell me.
Yeah. Yeah, well, I know he didn't, and it wasn't. I got it. I totally understood where he was coming from, and especially hindsight always being 2020, right? He was right. So that's what I told the feds when they asked me about Raymond to implicate him. I said no. In fact, it couldn't be further from the truth, because Raymond used to get upset with me when I used to hang out with these guys, and which was actually the truth,
right.
So it just added a little bit of validity to my story,
Yeah.
that he really wasn't involved with me, even though he was. I used to get a lot of cocaine with Raymond. He was a great, constant, steady supply.
It was
Which I can say now, because
How old are you?
46.
Okay, so you're. Oh my God, I can't do the math that fast. So you're like 5 years younger than.
You guys.
Because he would have been 51 in December.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's funny.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I was. He definitely was kind of the. Kind of a big brother, and it really always looked out for me, always, and that's just the way he always was. He always just kind of cared. We talked about this before, he's always, and listen, his thoughtfulness around, I think he gave us, when we had, maybe it was on Yale, maybe it was our first kid or something. He gave us a piggy bank, or maybe it was Tony Jr. I can't remember.
Because you gave Dominic his first piggy bank.
Because Raymond did ours, and I think.
No, Dominic's 19.
Oh, okay.
So
is that what it was?
So you brought the piggy bank to Dominic
when
he was in the hospital. Okay. And then I think Raymond probably reciprocated.
Well, then I had, but I almost, all these years I've always told myself I got that idea from him. So no. I almost feel like maybe he give it to somebody else. Anyway, he was always like so freaking thoughtful around the holidays. Like he bought really thoughtful gifts for people.
Yeah.
That not just a it was a particular gift. There was
we paid attention to when people talked, and that was a big thing for him, is to pay attention. His daughter's a lot like that. She listens when you talk, and she remembers everything. She's him in a lot of ways, where when it comes to just thoughtfulness and just directions, and just just common sense.
Yeah.
She's a lot like him, but he was definitely good.
He was sharp.
Yeah,
he was sharp. He was super talented, very crafty.
But he didn't think he was.
No, I know. That's part of the. Yeah. That's the lies that the devil tells us in those cases. So, yeah. So, we partying like hardcore, and then when I went away to prison, we kind of stayed apart during that time, and I think that he was fearful of having too much connection with me.
He made me come to see you because he was afraid. Right. Yeah, he was afraid to come see you.
Yes.
Made me come to Leavenworth.
Yeah.
Oh, you didn't make me.
No,
but,
I get it. Yeah. I totally forgot about that. Yeah.
I came to see you.
You sure did.
Yeah,
Absolutely.
It was intimidating.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah.
Did you end up coming to CCA through the glass, or were we in the?
We brought the kids one time too. The four of us came, and you were out, and you could.
Okay.
Yeah, we were out and about. I think the first time I came to see you, yes, you were behind glass, and then when I don't know if it was towards the end or long enough had passed that we all four came down. I think there was twice that we came.
Yeah.
Or I came.
Yeah. That's great. So, so then after, that time apart, and then coming out, getting back reacclimated, and, flying straight for a while, straight-ish.
I think the kids came, right?
I feel like it. Yeah. I feel like they did.
My memory and time
I
is just
remember
crazy.
Courtney's curly hair. She had my Melania was like that,
Yeah.
that afro hair.
Brent will see pictures of her when she's little, and he's like, I don't even recognize her because her hair's my color. Well, it's darker and straight
Yeah,
now.
yeah.
So
She had that curly hair.
yeah, she did.
Yeah,
So,
corn dog.
corn dog. That's her email. Corn
Is it
dog,
really?
DAWG.
That's great.
Yeah.
I remember. Didn't she have it on her little license plate on her bicycle? I think she
Probably.
Yeah, I think she
I
had
don't.
corn,
I don't know.
another one of Raymond's deals, right?
Yeah.
The fun stuff.
Yeah.
And so then what do you remember the night at the after hours party when I was directing
That's
traffic?
an unforgettable. Yes.
So that was before I got locked up, right?
Oh yeah, that
Yeah.
was when we would go down to like the West Bottom
Third and
area,
Gannat.
right? I don't even know.
Yeah,
where
it was a
that's
warehouse
at.
at 3rd and 9. We do the raves and all that.
You had the glow sticks, and we're in there in the car.
The Navigator, yeah.
Listening to, I can't remember the name of that song.
Sandstorm.
Yes.
Yeah.
And you're out directing semis.
Yeah, because
with
that
glow
semi
sticks.
was, we were down in that industrial area, and it was 2, 3 in the morning, and there's a semi truck trying to get through all these freaking
Probably
cars.
like
4 or 5 in the morning. Yeah, there's people like actually
Right.
work. The dock workers are trying to
Right.
load their freaking trucks.
Exactly.
And there was cars everywhere at this thing, and so I get out there and I used glow sticks as a like batons, and I'm literally,
one of
and
the
it
best
worked.
stories.
And we got the
Yeah.
guy through the hole, and I just remember like yelling like, "Whoa!"
Well, you had no idea what was going on in the music that was going on, and us watching you direct them in traffic. It was it was a scene from a movie. You couldn't make that up.
Fear and Loathing in Las Vegas
Yeah.
or something like that. That's great.
It was
Yeah.
funny.
So yeah, so many of those nights, and good
Yeah.
Lord, how fun.
Yeah.
You crawling under the coffee table is one of the all-time greatest.
You know, if
too.
my kids listen to this,
That's okay. That's right. You're good now. You
good
made
now,
it. You
yeah.
made it out the other side of the coffee table.
what not to do. Yeah, we were
Well,
young.
Did you did you stand on that coffee table and break the glass?
No.
Did that?
No, I didn't.
Okay, I don't know why I thought that happened one night.
No, but
It's a plausible story. It just
I did not. There is no, I didn't.
Okay. Okay. So, and then I go to prison. I come out. I fly straight for a while, and then Raymond and I start hanging out again. And
Several years later,
I
I wasn't a part of that.
Yeah. Yeah. So and I can't even remember what the context was of how. I think he was working down the club.
Yeah, I know what he told me, but
Yeah. Well,
no,
I don't. Yeah. So we were working down. He was working down the club, and I was starting to dabble in meth.
yeah.
And I remember, and this is where I had to, when it all went down initially, I had to really like soul search and not blame myself. And I think that you even helped me not blame myself. I think you maybe even told me at one point it's not your fault.
Of course, it's not your fault.
Yeah,
I
know.
He was looking for everything he could to mask what he was really going through.
Yeah, but it's an easy way to blame fault, because listen, he'd struggled with mental illness for a long time and never committed suicide before, and the only like different thing was we started doing meth together.
I will tell you, he tried 3 other times before I
gotcha.
There was a couple, well, let's see. He tried in 6 months prior, and then he tried in March of 15, which that was around the time he got clean, March 27th, 2015. Prior to that, he tried another time.
But my point was that was all around when we started messing with meth.
No, the first time was not.
You sure?
I'm
okay.
positive.
Okay,
well,
yeah, you
because
should be
this
sure.
Dominic was very little. He was maybe 2. And when Raymond died, Dominic was 11. So, yes, I promise you.
Yeah. Okay.
You guys were not talking at that time.
Got it. Okay. Well, so so then I remember he got off meth and
Clean, cold turkey.
Yep, and
He was hospitalized at that time. He was hospitalized on
I
hold.
remember. What was that for? Was that his? Was it
He was going through a manic.
Panic, anxiety.
Well, yeah, I mean, he was definitely, I think we had, when he was in his manic ways, I would just leave because that was the best thing for me,
Sure.
just to get away. And I remember he shot the gun off in the phone, and I thought he did it. He was on the phone with me, shot the gun off, and I thought
So he had done that one other time on the phone. I didn't. Oh.
That was in March. And then I called the police, and I think I called Chad, and I called Woody. And Chad actually, I think it was Chad that talked him into going down and talking to the police. They took him they took him.
Yeah.
I do think it was Chad that convinced him to go. I mean, they didn't arrest him. They took him to the hospital.
Yeah.
He was definitely, but Woody had come and he was there, and they were all trying to get him to just kind of calm down. But the reason I called the police is because I thought,
You're scared.
well, I thought he was dead.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah. For sure.
So,
Oof.
anyway, yeah.
Oh my gosh. Okay. So, well then, so one of our separation points for us at the very end was when I finally got sober, because he was like really, really working on me and like encouraging me to do it. And I remember, meth. Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah. Encouraging me to get off.
Oh, he was.
Yeah. Because when he got clean.
Oh, so you were still, when he got clean in 15, you were still.
Yes, because
okay.
January 16th of 2016 is when I got clean. So I would tell him that I'm good. I'm not doing it as much. And, and he was like, dude, you just got to quit. And,
Right.
I remember that. Well, when I finally did, me, I'm like all or none, right? I poured into my religion and spirituality, and I was like openly, I was on social media, like confessing, and I was just trying to, that was my way of trying to heal, of being vulnerable and honest and open with everybody. Like, hey, this is the things I did, because I remember initially when I first got sober, that one of the things that when I was laying in bed, like crying every day, was like just thinking about, I was starting to gain clarity of everything, just thinking about all the devastation of all the people that I've hurt and maybe that I have to apologize to.
He would say that being clean was very raw. It felt very, vulnerable, and it's very sensitive. It seemed like it was a very sensitive, I don't know how to explain it because I've never.
Well, that's right.
Been in that situation,
you are sensitive. You're because when you're on drugs, you're kind of numb, right? And so your sensitivity to your awareness to feelings and your compassion,
right? I think that changed him to the point of, at that point in our marriage, after he did the drugs, I had become so standoffish and so desensitized to his crap that no matter how sad he was or how vulnerable he was or how much he poured his heart out, I didn't care.
Yeah, you were kind of.
I was numb.
You were numb. Yeah.
There was a wall up, and the damage was done.
Sure.
So that's kind of how. Yeah.
Yeah.
It was sad.
Yeah. So, and then, so I remember I think he commented on one of my things. I'll never forget it because it was really, really hurtful. Rather than, because everybody else was proud of me and like encouraging, right? And he said something about, there you go with your slick tongue, your silver, all whatever. And,
car salesman.
Yeah,
I used to call you, I mean.
Yeah, exactly.
I think he was envious of you.
No question. And, because
he didn't have mental illness.
Correct. Yeah. And I know that.
You got through it on the other side, and he got through it and just went downhill. And for him, and
it wasn't fair because he's like, I quit first and here you're going up and I feel like I'm going down further,
right.
By quitting, and so I can see where that, especially if you have a mental illness anyway, how that could be amplified. So, so that was that was tough, But I was in a really good place mentally, like I was strong. I was pouring into my religion and everything, and I knew, hurting people hurt people, and so I never ever ever harbored any sort of resentment for Raymond. Either then for what happened, nothing. You know, I've
Yeah.
never. He's always has been
Well,
and will be one of my best friends ever. So
you
it's
got to
hard.
blame somebody.
Yeah.
And I did. I blamed multiple people when he died.
Sure.
I think I was angry at you at one point
Yep.
when I sat in the parking lot and had a conversation with you. And I just wanted to tell you how I felt at that time based on it being still so fresh with
Yeah.
things that him and I had discussed. But, I blamed the police department. I blamed the hospitals. I blamed a lot of people, but no one can blame anyone
Yeah,
but
there
the
is
person that did it.
Yeah. Right.
So
Yeah, that's tough. That's part of the process, though, right?
Right. The grieving process.
Yeah, anger,
Yeah.
and then sad, and then you went through all those emotions.
Oh yeah,
right?
shock, anger. I was sad, and we were so codependent. We'd been together since we were 17.
Yeah, I know. That's
17.
Crazy.
We
Yeah.
grew up together, so
High school sweethearts.
right. We had no way to really learn from our previous relationships. Right.
yeah.
We were super codependent on each other.
Yeah, which is fine. I mean, you guys were. I used to. God, I used to envy the shit out of your guys' relationship.
I mean,
I think more than any, I grew up in a community, an Italian community where, unfortunately, historically, very alpha male, very submissive wife. The alpha male kind of ran the show, and the wife just cooked and cleaned and was all, and you kind of reminded me of that. I mean, you worked too, but you kept the house. Listen, we would be up all night partying. We'd come in 4 or 5 in the morning. We would wake up on Sunday around noon or whatever to dinner, Sunday afternoon dinner being cooked for us. You had stuff laid out. I mean, it's almost like you had 2 husbands you were taking care
I did.
of.
You were on the couch. He was in bed. It's like, and then the nights that I went out with you guys, it was dark the next day and nobody wanted to get out of bed. But yeah, definitely, I did do it. I did the 3-4 course meal, everything cooked from scratch. It was no box meals, no TV dinners. I mean, that's the way his mom taught me to cook, and that's what he required. And it was just kind of an it wasn't unwritten. He was very vocal about a lot of things. So I did what I was told.
Yeah, well,
Sometimes I got mouthy, but
you got, yeah, you did. Yeah, you usually didn't have a loss of words.
still don't.
I know, that's great. That's one of the things I love about you. Yeah, brutal honesty.
It's not. Right? It's done me a lot of bad. So it's not always great.
Well, listen, I always admired that you guys had a pretty strong relationship. You guys been through a lot of crap, and you stuck around.
I mean, I did. I think.
Listen, Amy, you call it what you want. You stuck around to the end.
I mean,
you literally did.
I mean, I did. But for the wrong reasons in the end.
I understand that. Yeah, I understand.
No,
that.
I mean, yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
I was terrified. I didn't want to. And then the time in July when he tried to commit suicide, and he ended up being hospitalized, and that's a whole other story. I told myself that I wasn't going back. I would go back one last time. Mm-hmm. I couldn't. How can you leave someone at their absolute worst? How
Right.
can you, as a human being, how could you do that? Yeah. I knew in my heart I didn't want to be there. And I'm not trying to hurt anybody's feelings by being honest about this. I'm not anybody that hasn't heard these things. I don't want, he was your friend. You see him differently, right?
Yeah.
But I think I told myself, okay, there will be a next time. And that next time, I will leave. Mm-hmm. And I did. Mm-hmm. Well.
Yeah. Yeah. No, I got you. So that night, can we talk about it?
Yeah, absolutely.
Because it's a little bit of a blur to me. I remember Chad calling me, telling me that, I think Chad was the one you called the first time or whatever, because I remembered him saying
Chad was really the only one that really could
talk to him. Yeah. And so I remember him calling me, and this time, I don't remember if the first time, but I know this time there was like a standoff with the police. So the police had the house surrounded or whatever.
That was the first time the police were called. There wasn't a standoff. The first time he went to the hospital. The second time he tried to commit suicide.
Okay.
That was he shot the gun off in the house. I thought he was dead. The third time was 6 months prior to him actually dying. That was where there were police
and all that. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
So is that the night that it actually happened?
No.
Okay.
That was in July, and he died in December.
So I guess I'm putting all those stories together in my head, and I've manufactured what really happened. So, so tell me what happened that night, like what?
He was on medication.
Mm-hmm.
It was I'll go back to Friday. He was on a medication, and we were supposed to go out to a Christmas party with our friends. A lot of people had canceled, and there was 4 of us standing, the last 4.
Phil, probably.
It was Phil and Rachel, yes.
Of course.
It was Phil and Rachel. The 4 of us were going out. Everybody else canceled, and we decided to go to dinner and then go out for drinks afterwards. But on my way home, he goes, "Can you stop and grab some Fireball? And then can you get my medication?" He was seeing a psychiatrist, and he was on a couple different meds. And the one he was on with Seroquel was to help him sleep, and he had gained a lot of weight at that point. He was pretty heavy, and that's what made him heavy was that medication. And the pharmacy said, well, the doctor won't fill it. And I can't remember now. I think it was they weren't doing, I don't know if it was a milligram issue or they didn't have it, but the doctor and them weren't speaking to each other about it. So they weren't communicating about getting him medication. He had completely ran out. And then we went out, came home, and then that weekend was just awful because he didn't have his medicine.
Sure.
You can't stop taking an antidepressant when you've been taking it.
And if I recall right, during all of his medication, he was always pretty compliant. If he, right? No. He didn't. I thought he always took his medication.
Sleeping pills and Xanax.
Okay. All right.
He would. And I think this happens a lot of times when you're dealing with mental illness. From what I've educated myself on is you take it and you go along and it either makes you feel really good or really crappy. And if it makes you feel really crappy, then you try another medication, and it's a cycle, and it's awful for people that have mental illness.
The worst one is when they start feeling good and they think they're good and then they get off.
Right.
Yeah.
So he would do that. He would take medication and feel good and then stop taking it. I don't want to take it. I've gained 50 pounds.
Yeah.
I can't take this. So anyway, long story short, it was a pretty rough weekend. Forward to Tuesday, I went to work, and when I came home, so he died the 22nd. So he died at 3:36, I think, at 3:36 a.m. on Thursday morning. So Tuesday night, we got into a pretty big argument, but he really wasn't lucid. I had a bottle of Xanax that I never took them. I had 60 blue 1 milligram, so 60 milligrams, which is a lot.
Blue football, we used to call them.
Yeah, they're pretty strong.
Yeah.
He took the entire bottle from Friday to Tuesday.
Oh, no.
Which makes you more agitated. It does the adverse. So he was very agitated. I had no idea until he threw the pill bottle at me that, he took them all.
Yeah.
And I was begging and pleading, and I said, would you please, please, please go back to the hospital? You promised me last time you would go to the hospital in July when we sat there and we cried together, and he promised me all these things. When he, if he ever got to that point, he would go straight to the hospital. And Chad was down. I think he was remodeling or something at the time, so he hadn't been working down at the club. And so he really spent like 4 months just doing nothing. He worked with Joey for a little bit, mowing.
Yeah.
Loved to mow. He hated to mow. But anyway, he said, no, I'm not going. And I remember trying to call his dad, and his dad was real sick. He had cancer, and he wasn't in any position to drive over and calm him down. And I was going to call an ambulance, and he put a rifle right in my face.
Oh, no.
And no, you're not. And so I'm not saying this to, not saying that he was not in his right mind. I'm not trying to
Yeah, no, I get it.
make anybody upset or offend anyone, but it is true. He did do it. And that's this is my story, I
Yes,
guess,
it is your story.
from my perspective.
100%.
And he had his handgun on the top of the safe. And I remember I was going to grab it and take it out of the
Yeah.
room. I don't know what I was thinking. How stupid. I wasn't thinking. Well, he came over and we wrestled for the gun, and he fell because he was so under the influence of
Yeah.
Xanax. He hit his head on the door jamb and pretty much almost knocked himself out. And then I got Dominic. I got as many clothes as I could get. And then he ends up giving me a kiss goodbye
Oh, my gosh.
and helped me load the car. And then that was Tuesday night, and I went to his mom's because that was the only safe place that I could go. I had nowhere else to go. And I was just terrified. So the next day, he's like more coherent. Bring my car back. It was the Tahoe at the time. Bring my car back. And I'm like, I'm not coming anywhere near you. I'm not, you need to just chill out right now. And the manic phase was very bad at that point. And long story short, I hightailed it out of his mom's because I was afraid he was going to come over there.
Yeah.
His dad, I think, the battery was dead in my car that he had at the house. And so his dad brought him a new battery. So I was terrified. So I got a hotel.
Yeah.
And he didn't know where I was. We didn't do Find My iPhone back then because he didn't want me to probably know where he was.
I think I feel like I remember talking to you.
Yeah. And
during all that.
And then, I turned my phone off and I talked to Raymond and Courtney, and he was trying to call them, and it just wasn't good. And nothing, no child, no matter what age, should see their parent in that condition.
Right.
And they were scared, and he said he was going to come driving by looking for everybody. He was looking for me, and I didn't want to put the kids in the position of me going down there and then him coming down there. So me and Dominic fled. And
how old was Dominic at the time? 11, you said? Okay.
He had just turned 11. Yes. It was his 11th birthday in November. Okay. And then this was the 20th. So this is the 21st on Wednesday. And then I ended up going down and getting a restraining order from him. I don't know why. It was dumb because if he wanted...
Yeah, I know, I get it. But you're searching at that point.
Yeah. And then that night, several of his friends were just pleading with me to please, call him and not go home, just call him and ease his mind. And I was paranoid. He made me a very paranoid person. He used to record my phone calls and go through my emails. He was very, I was just paranoid. And so I wouldn't call him. And I turned my phone off, and I turned Dominic's phone off. And we went to bed. And, Dominic went to bed. I laid there for hours. I woke up at 6, and I turned my phone back on. It was message after message after message after message.
Yeah, right.
So obviously the most recent message is first. Mm-hmm. And I listened to it, and he said, "I'm sorry." And then I heard the gun go off. And I knew he was dead because I could hear... It was different.
Phone dropped maybe, or
no.
Oh, the sound.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. I still have it. I still have the voicemail. And then all the other angry text messages that came before it, I listened. I went into the bathroom. I called the police department. I had my cell phone in one hand and the police department in the other. And I didn't want Dominic to hear, so I was trying to be quiet. And they said, they heard it, and they said, "Get here immediately." So I called my mom to come get Dominic. And I went straight to the police department. And I didn't try calling him, because I knew.
Yeah.
I knew, I didn't want to think it. I wanted to, you try to convince yourself every...
Yeah, you've been through this before last time. Yeah.
Right. Yeah. But it was just it was different.
Yeah.
And it was so, when they got there, or when I got there, they had me sit down with them so they could do the whole layout of my house and where are the cameras, where's this, where's that, and telling them, I just felt so, oh my God, he's got cameras in the living room, he's got cameras in the driveway, he's got back then you didn't have cameras everywhere.
Right.
And they were like, where's the safest entry point? And I was like, the back door. It's a glass back door. So yes, so they went, and SWAT team, and I think it was a SWAT team that went.
Some kind of tactical.
Yeah. And then he was gone.
Yeah. Okay. So, gosh, you're amazing. To sit here and be able to, retell that story, and
I could tell it.
Yeah.
I mean, I could recite it just like it's just.
I've never heard it.
Yeah. Sorry. I mean, I'm not sorry you haven't heard it. I'm just, I'm sorry.
It's
that you had to hear that because he's your friend.
That's kind of what that's kind of how I had heard it, but obviously never firsthand. So, man, these things are real. They're real, right? And I think the piece of this that anybody that is listening should be able to draw any level of strength from you is that this is not something that just happened one day. This is like 20 years of a lot of stuff that culminated in that you had to go through leading up to this. So, not saying that it would be any easier if this was just out of the blue. Because it
probably would be harder if it was out of the blue. I think me and the kids, not Dominic, he was so young, but I think me and Raymond and Courtney kind of expected something.
Sure. Whether it was an overdose or just anything of the sort. Yeah.
Yeah.
So,
I think Raymond said at one point, Mom, I knew Dad would die young.
Mm-hmm.
No, he didn't. I know for a fact he said that because you never want to hear your kids say that. You never want to think that you were the reason that they had a dysfunctional upbringing. And it was normal to me. It was normal. It was the only normal I knew. And being in the marriage that I'm in now and looking back, it doesn't feel real. It doesn't feel like that was my life. I mean, it's been almost 9 years.
Anybody that would know you now that have met you since you've been remarried and everything else, and if you were to go back and tell the story, they'd be like just blown away,
Yeah, you just don't.
It's such a contrast.
Yeah.
Well, I think that probably for me, one of the most amazing things about this, and listen, maybe I'm trying to find credit for you because I think you're awesome. So, but so from your kids' perspective, hopefully they saw a virtuous woman that stood by her husband to the end, and you went through a lot. You left the house. What you had to do, what you had to do to be safe, but you were there to the end, Amy, and though your kids saw a lot, in their days, they're most women today, or most couples today, they argue and split up over the freaking shampoo bottle being wrong, and that's a whole joke in itself. Me and Dominique argued over that one time, but you know what I mean. Like people just look for a reason to get divorced, and you looked for every reason to not get divorced.
I did. I will say, and I would never want to hurt my husband's feelings now, but at the time he was my first real love. He was what I thought was the love of my life. I was going to be with him forever, and he was larger than life. He had just this magnetic hold over me, but
for a lot of good reasons, though.
I think that
you chose to look at your marriage through a good lens because you saw him for the good
at that time. But now looking back, I'm kind of angry at myself that I know that people say you should stay together, you shouldn't, try and work it out. But at the time, he's all I knew, and I wanted to be there, obviously. But then it just kept getting worse and getting worse and getting worse, and I was done. I don't know. It's a hard position to be in because
a lot of what ifs.
At the time I thought this is love.
Yeah,
he
You stick it
and
out.
I think he did love me
100%.
the only way he really knew how to love, right? Like the way he maybe witnessed his parents or whatever. Sure. And so I thought that's what love was. I mean, but it being loved now and being taken care of and being put on a pedestal and having my husband be the amazing, strong person that he is, he treats me like every woman deserves to be treated. And it makes me angry. It makes me angry that I
missed out on that, or so to speak.
That I missed out on it, and I showed my kids this isn't love. I mean, it was dysfunctional love, and I'm not trying to.
No, I get it. No, I
belittle
totally,
him or.
You're not wrong.
Right.
You're not wrong.
But he didn't know how. Neither one of us did.
Yeah.
We know how to treat each other, and now when I try to fight with my husband, he won't fight with me. And I sometimes that old me comes out, and I just want to say something just to be nasty.
The old Eastwood Hills, Amy.
Eastwood Traffic Way.
Yeah.
I just want to say it to just, and that's not love. You don't say mean things like that just to make your partner mad.
Right.
You know, so I don't know. You can interpret it however you want. I know he was your friend.
No, listen, you're not wrong. You're 100% right. You should stay in a marriage and you should fight through it, but there should be some resolution. It should probably if I were still friends with you guys today and you guys were in that level of a toxic marriage, I wouldn't tolerate it. I'd be all over Raymond, and I was doing the same shit he was doing. I'm doing cheating and doing drugs and gambling and taking all of our money, and I wasn't any better. So we definitely weren't any good for each other at the time. But you're right, you're correct, and that's kind of the stuff I stand for now with the Stronger Leader, and the whole men's ministry is holding men. And I wish that Raymond and I are a couple alpha males, and to tell you better come strong if you're going to tell us something that we're going to listen to, right? And so I think that if and I think that's my place in life now. I am an alpha male. I'm strong. I've got a dominant presence about me. I got a charismatic presence about me. So I think that me reaching guys that are in their 20s and even in their teens, I've been speaking with some of the high school players and stuff like that, and pouring into them about what a man really looks like, right? Because I didn't really have the example of it either, And,
you would love my husband.
You
would love him.
Oh yeah, no, I listen from all that you've told me and the few interactions I've had with him. He's an absolute piece of bread for sure.
He really is like the best of the best.
Yeah, that's great. Well, we've talked about having dinner. We need to do that for sure.
Well, your wife was supposed to get her schedule together.
Okay, all right, good. Yeah,
it's on her.
She's the keeper of my schedule. Yeah, I go to dinner when she says we're going to dinner.
Listen, get us into 1587 Saturday for Brent's birthday. Not the four of us, just me and Brent.
Sidebar.
Yeah. No, I do want to say that the mental health system is horrible.
Yep.
And this is 9 years ago. I don't know what it's like today.
How long has it been? 9 years?
9 years in December, yeah. And he was turned away at one time when he went to admit himself. And he went in with Maple. Remember Maple?
Yep.
He drove him. And
how's he doing these days?
He's good. I think he lives in Arizona, and he's very successful. I don't really talk to him, but I see his posts and stuff. Yeah. And he's got great kids, and he's married. And he was there for the part of this. And when he drove him to, he drove him to Truman, which is where he went the first time. And the first time they kept him because he was brought down by the police. They have to take him, and they held him for 5 or 6 days. And then in July, all of that happened. A couple days later, the kids went and tried to talk him into going to the hospital. And I think that's probably predominantly why he decided to go. And I still wasn't speaking to him at that point. And Jason got him. He drove him down to Truman, got him in. He couldn't take his wallet, couldn't take his ID, couldn't have his car keys. He couldn't take anything.
Right.
And they make you take your shoelaces out. Any laces in your, it's a horrible.
You're on suicide watch, basically.
It's a horrible place to be. And at that point, I really didn't know what was going on. I tried to stay disconnected at that point, and I got a phone call at like midnight, and it was him leaving me a voice message. We were at Julie's house, and he left me a voice message that said, they're not admitting me. I have to leave. I don't have money for a cab. I don't have my wallet. I have nothing. They won't call me a taxi. So if you get this, I'll call you back when I can get to a phone. And I was dumbfounded. I was
Yeah, that's
dumbfounded
so
that
crazy.
he was asking and pleading for help, and they said, no, we don't think that you're suicidal. And he walked to research from Truman downtown to research at midnight. So by this point, I gotten the message. I'd got up. I didn't want to go. I was scared because I didn't know what kind of mood he was in.
Yeah, right.
But he always made me carry a gun.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah.
what am I going to do? I stopped carrying. It's in the safe because I'm terrified of guns.
Yeah.
But I did, and it would be in my console, and I put it on the left side of me in the door.
Yeah.
Just because I didn't know what I was coming into.
Sure.
But I was like, I'm not going to let him walk the rest of the way home. Absolutely not.
Right.
I still loved him, you know. And so he called me from research, and I was in the 63rd Street area at that time. So I came and picked him up at research, and I drove him back to his mom's. So we went back to his mom's, and that's when, you know, he begged and pleaded and said he would go to the hospital if it ever happened again, and you know, that's that time. But the mental health care system it's awful. And so then that Monday, that was a Saturday, Sunday, that Monday, he called his psychiatrist, and a psychiatrist had him admitted into research. And there's two sides to research. There's the side that is really bad, and then there's a side that isn't as bad.
Got it.
Not that Raymond wasn't homeless, currently on drugs, really, like, I don't know what you want.
Lucid.
Right.
Yeah,
he was
yeah,
lucid,
yeah,
right? Is that the right word?
Yeah.
And so, I mean, some of the stories he told me that he saw, you know, it's just heartbreaking. It's
Sure.
heartbreaking to hear. And, you know, the police were really no help either. And I had a lot of anger towards them. They let him, they knew what was going on that day.
Yeah. Sometimes that's where I fault and it, you know, it's not their fault. It's because of the laws that govern them and what they can and can't do. That's like they can't. There's no law been broken yet. There's nothing we can do. It's like, gosh, man. That's why, like, I like organizations that are, you know, I don't want to say above the law, but they're not restricted by the law. Where, you know, a police officer can't just go into a house unless they have a search warrant, or unless there's a crime happening, or, you know what I mean, or unless there's like probable cause, so to speak, and stuff like that. So there's a lot of things that, you know, I've had arguments, you know, before, like when I was going through issues with my old rental property, and the guy that was in there, and I was trying to get the place, like, man, there's been no crime. I'm like, no crime. I mean, this guy's a pure criminal, you know what I mean? But yeah, he had not actually done a crime, you know. So we were battling, and I'm like, so I said, you have to wait until I go in there and beat the hell out of this guy,
And then you get in trouble.
and then I get in trouble, and that's the crime, and I'm trying to prevent a crime.
Right.
Where's crime prevention? We talk about it all the time. Where's crime prevention? That, you know, but yeah, I can understand that, you know, the law enforcement they get their hands cuffed.
Well, it wasn't that I just called him and said, please do something. They drove him home. They knew his suicidal state. They knew I had went and got a restraining order against him. He went in there saying that I at this point, he wasn't 100% there. He was still probably hung over on Xanax, but he said that I took his ammunition out of the house. I mean, he had this, you know, he was preparing for doomsday, right?
Yeah,
like,
he used to have all those gun boxes.
Yeah, and he had a huge thing of ammunition. I couldn't even lift the corner of it.
Yeah,
There'd be no
heavy.
way, right?
I know what you're talking
But they did absolutely nothing. And the guy's he's a chief of police now, and he was a captain at the time. And I feel like I'm not blaming them.
No, I get it.
They could have done more.
Sure.
And I think when I was talking to the coroner's office or something. When they went in, they pronounced him dead. And I'd have to ask my friend Laura because she probably remembers it like it was yesterday. But there was something said that the police didn't do anything. They knew what was going on, and they should have held him at the police station at that time because he was searching for me. And I can't, it all kind of runs together at this point. But, they should have, if they would have held him, it would have been another 6 months and he would have went through it again.
Yeah, sure.
So
no, I get it.
You're just prolonging it, but I don't know. Our system's not designed for mentally ill people. It's not. And it's unfortunate because there's so many people out there suffering.
Yeah. Whether they're diagnosed or not, or, hell, I think there's people suffering that aren't mentally ill.
Right.
There's just, especially the youth. I was listening to the Charlie Kirk. One of the things he said, I think our youth is more depressed, more suicidal, more anxious than ever before. And we know it's these devices, the access to information. It's just too much for their little brains. They're not even fully developed to take in so much information so rapidly, So I think it has a big cause of it, but that's another political thing we can get into. But
we're not.
Yeah, we're not. So thanks for sharing all that and reliving that. I appreciate it. And it helps bring a little bit of clarity. I talk about it sometimes, and I hope that I share, like there'll be a video coming out of my talk in South Carolina where I shared what I remembered of that.
I saw was that when you were kind of in the parking lot looking area? Yep. Or I think I saw a snippet of something.
Yeah, so
you were talking about suicide.
I've got all the video from those 2 days I was there. I spoke in like 5 different meetings with different teams, leadership teams and whatnot.
Did you end up talking about him?
I did.
Did you?
I did, and I spoke about him taking his life on your voicemail. And so I will, with your permission, I'm going to continue to share that story, not for any other reason than to make it bring some good from what happened, right? And I think that, so you know what I mean? Yeah. I think being able to share that openly with people, you can hopefully catch somebody that's in those moments.
I would hope he would want that at this point. I would hope that he knows I forgive him, and that if it could help somebody. I mean, I don't know. He was so bad. He was so bad in the end that I don't know what I hope.
Yeah.
I don't know. I mean, I don't,
Just hope you never have to go through it again.
I know. Right? I mean, I hope no one, I don't want anyone to have to go through that. I don't want anyone to have to fear for the person that they love and fear of the person that they love. Nobody should go through that. Right. And I know that he struggled and he had demons and it was awful for him. And I can't ever pretend to know a fraction of what he went through.
Right. Yeah, right. No, exactly. Just so I think what we should do at this point is maybe take it back now. What if I knew then what I know now, right?
Yeah.
If you knew then what you know now, what are some things, and the reason this is more like an educational moment for people that are listening, that hopefully, like I said, they can draw some strength from you, and maybe you can help them head off maybe some wrong turns or some things that you maybe could have done differently, either for yourself, to help him, whatever. Not, like I said, not for the blame portion of it, but more like, I mean, you look back on it, you're clear, you're out of the situation, out of the stress, you can think more clearly. What are some things that you would have done different, either for yourself or even for him or whatever, all the above?
Well, Raymond was pretty stubborn and very hard-headed, that there wasn't a lot I could have done other than the very first time, maybe try and call in the police.
Put your foot down early.
Put my foot down early, yeah. The first time, or one of the first huge explosions, he threw the Christmas tree out the front door and broke tons of Hallmark ornaments, no less.
Which I think he like those ornaments or something.
His mother collected them for the kids.
Yeah,
they weren't cheap,
right?
I
remember. Yeah,
and every year, she would collect a new one, and he threw it out it was on his birthday. Threw the cake across the room, and
when's his birthday?
May 9th, December 9th.
December 9th.
Yeah.
Okay.
And it was a cycle around that time. It would start around October.
Holiday
Change
season. I do
holiday
remember you
seasons.
saying something that
The
holiday
changing
seasons.
seasons.
Yeah.
I think that was a big trigger for him.
Financial stress.
Financial stress. And I think that, there's a lot that's put on a provider, a man, but I was actually the one that was doing everything at that time, and I think that probably weighed heavy on him. I mean, as a man, you would think that would, but what would I do different? You know, this is a horrible thing to say, but I would have when little Raymond was born, and I left when he was 4 months old, and he told me that if I didn't come home, his parents had money, they were gonna fight and take my son away from me. And I believed him.
Yeah.
I didn't believe him for the fact that I thought his parents would ever do that, but I believed Raymond because he could convince me anything.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
And if I wish I was strong enough then. I was 19, I wish I would have. But then I say that sounds horrible because then I wouldn't have
Courtney
and Dominic. And,
I know what you're saying.
so I look back and I think, or maybe not, maybe, just, I don't know what I would have done different. I wish I would have, as strong as I feel as a human being, I wish I could have stood up to him. And I couldn't.
That's so ironic because, I always look at you as like super strong, you know. Maybe that strength unfairly to you. I'm judging your strength because you're not emotional. You're not.
I'm stoic.
You stoic, yeah. I mean, right. So that appears, but really on the inside, you're hurt. You could be hurting. And
I'm not. I don't miss him.
yeah, no, I don't. Not
hurt.
now. Yeah, I'm talking about all those years.
Oh.
You always seem you were tough. You were a tough broad, man.
Oh, I mean, I was when I needed to be, but he also taught me how to be strong.
Uh-huh.
He's a lot of the reason that I probably am a strong. Whether he was doing it intentionally or not, I had to be strong. I had to take. I wasn't gonna go down a drug path with him and have my kids living in a trap house.
Right.
I'm
Yeah,
not.
right,
That's just
right.
not the road I was gonna go down. So I had no choice but to,
Keep it together.
You suck it up. You take one day at a time and you figure it out and you move forward. And I feel like I survived because I just took one day at a time. I couldn't do anything else at that time. I was paralyzed.
Yeah.
But I don't know what I would have done different. I think that it made me who I am today.
No question.
Whether that's good or bad, I mean, I think I have a lot of internal anxiety. I have a lot of like coming here today really.
Well, I mean, anybody that's been through what you've been through.
Yeah, I mean, but it's been 9 years, I mean, I've moved on, and I moved on quickly. I mean, I think that I say quickly, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Probably other people would think quickly. But I was done early on. I was done probably a year before our marriage ended, or before he died.
This would be the classic case of bittersweet.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Just kind of I mean, it was an end to a long suffering for you, for him.
Yeah. And I think he knew and as weird as this is to say, and my kids would probably agree, at least we've had conversations, that I think he knew. He wrote it down. I have it somewhere. You guys will be better off in 6 months. I'm not saying we were better off in 6 months, but I'm saying in his mind, he thought we were better off.
No question.
And
no question.
I don't think that
and not in a selfish way, in a very selfless way.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. Because people say, oh, suicide is so
selfish.
selfish.
Yeah, no, in fact.
And I remember.
Knowing him,
right.
I don't know about everyone that does
Right.
it, but knowing him,
Right.
how thoughtful and how, like, listen, I feel like he would do something like that to help someone else.
No, absolutely. And I remember we were at my daughter's friend's, it was her baby shower, and her mom's friend was there. And this was, I don't know, a year or so after, and she was talking, and people would talk about it openly. They just didn't really have any tact, and they would say stuff, and that is the most selfish thing. And I thought Courtney was gonna come across the room because that was her dad at the
Don't
end
you
of the
talk
day,
about my daddy.
right? And she struggled with it for a very long time, and it makes me sad that I put my kids through that. It makes me sad that I was not stronger for my kids, that I couldn't get out for them. But I didn't want to go to a shelter and, hide from him. And
Yeah.
I didn't want them to do without, I guess. And he did provide very well. They wanted for nothing when they were little.
Yeah.
But is that
No,
important in the grand scheme of things?
no, obviously not. We know not now, but I look, and this is little different topic, but like my parents, them divorcing at a young age for me, and my dad not being in the house. That of course we know
Right.
that impacts especially a young boy's upbringing, right?
Right.
But my parents loved me. My dad loved me. They did what they thought was best with the tools and the resources that they had. You know what I mean? And so like that's what, and I hope that Raymond and Courtney and Dominic also look through those lenses. Like you did what education you had about the situation, what your heart was telling you to do. You did everything with the highest level of intentions.
They do.
Yeah.
I think that they don't harbor resentment. Well, I mean, if they do, they don't. I've got great kids.
You do have great kids. Yeah. They're really close with you.
Very close.
Yeah.
They're very close. I mean, Dominic is he's 9 and 11 years younger than, your oldest brother's how many years older than
15.
you? I mean, yeah. So
Yeah.
the distance.
Sure.
But we all are close. And, we have a group chat, word on the streeter. And me and Courtney aren't streeters anymore. But Raymond came up. I don't know who came up with it. But, yeah, it's they're great kids. And they've been through a lot. And the fact that they're resilient and they struggled. Raymond had a dream about him the other day. And you'll appreciate this. He said, Mom, he'll just pop in sometimes. He'll just pop into my head. And he is telling me what I need to do with my house, like trying to decorate. And Raymond's very good at decorating. He's got a great eye, like his dad did.
Yeah, oh yeah.
And they'll tell you that Big Raymond didn't have a great eye, but he popped in. He's trying to tell me what to do and put on this wall. And he goes, I told him to get out of my house. I want no part of this. And he's like, it wasn't like a sentimental dream or like I was trying to talk to him about the past or whatever. It was him hoarding crap in my home, and it's my home. Get out. Raymond, he was a hoarder. He loved to hoard everything. So yeah, it was funny, so we have those moments where, we laugh. We don't harbor really any anger anymore. I think that's kind of dissipated. And, to go back to I don't know what I would have done differently. I don't know if I would have done anything differently.
Okay, so let me ask you this then. If you, there's a wife going through right now, and they called you and asked you for advice, like right in those end days, what would you tell her to give her some encouragement or strength or advice, or what would you say?
Such a hard thing, because I know when I was going through it, no one could tell me anything. No one could say, I wouldn't listen, or it, honestly,
like just a simple, hey, if you need anything, I'm here. It'll be okay.
I mean,
anything,
It will be okay. It will be as tough as it seems in the thick of it, as hard as the days are that you're going through. Life goes on, and you will survive. I mean, for me, I didn't know that at the time, but I feel like, 2 weeks turned into 4 months, and 4 months turned into 8.
Start peeling off the calendar.
You
a little
do,
bit.
and then I look back, and it was 3 years.
Yeah.
I'm like, oh my gosh, where did the time go? And then it was about the 5th year that I really started. I don't know.
How long have you and Brent been together?
We've been married for, oh my God, he doesn't listen to. I'm just kidding. 2 years? It was 2 years in April, and then I think we dated for 4.
Okay.
So
Okay.
6
years.
years.
Yeah.
6 years ish, I think. But I've known Brent. I worked with Brent, so I've known him since. When I worked at Encore. He worked at Spencer Reed. I didn't like him. I didn't like him at all. I thought he was an ass. He was an ass. And
Why? Because he was quiet and nice.
he was an
and you
IT guy. IT guys are assholes.
My computer ain't working. Power on, power off, Amy.
Reboot.
Yeah.
I thought he was an ass. And then
That's hilarious.
I moved to the home office and, we just became friends. But so I've known him since 2009.
Oh, cool.
Yeah.
Oh.
So it was something
that even adds another layer of just neatness to him, knowing what you've been through. I mean, most guys would be like, no thanks, baggage.
You want to hear something funny? Oh my God. He has moved all of Raymond's crap. I can't tell you how many times. Like in the basement, he's relocated it. I had the T-shirts made for the kids, the blankets, those cool T-shirt with Raymond's shirts, and I had the tubs out, and I was going through them, and he went to carry the tubs downstairs, and he tripped and fell, and I was dying. You have to laugh. And he's kind of clumsy. It's funny. He'll kill me. And then a couple days later, Scooter, which was Raymond's cat, like Scooter, we had an orange cat named Scooter, and he slept with Raymond. He would not leave Raymond's sight. He walked in front of Brent, and Brent fell into the window and broke the window. He goes, I swear he's trying to kill me. I swear he's trying to kill me. But, I mean, yes, for him to be able to stand by my side and put up with the difficult time, and it was a long road for him to put up with.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
So he's like, what a man.
Yeah.
What a man.
He definitely is. So yeah, and had I not, he was going through a divorce, and unfortunately, and I think you just organically lean on each other,
Sure.
and it just worked out. But had I not been able to be with him, I don't know that I'd want to get remarried again.
Because you weren't on the dating scene.
Oh,
You
God,
weren't-
no.
yeah.
God, and I hear about how horrible it is, and I want no part of it.
Right.
I mean, obviously I don't.
No,
I didn't then. Obviously not
overrated.
now. Yeah. Cut that out.
Oh my gosh. Well, man, what a story.
Yeah.
What a story. I'm sorry that you had to go through all that, and certainly, thank you for being such a good friend and forgiving me for whatever little part I played in it. I know you don't blame me, but I was involved. I mean,
I think at the time you were an easy target because I feel like, you guys were, but you both were bad for each other, honestly.
So bad.
It could have gone way darker for you too. You just unfortunately didn't have the mental illness.
It's we talk about, me and you talk about the religion piece of it sometimes, and I'm the spiritual person, and you're like, whatever.
I did not follow God down this road.
Yeah, I know.
Honestly.
Which is, so I wanted to speak on that.
Yeah.
So I'm glad we talked about that. So for anyone watching, I always tell people there's two things about me that anymore you can bet your farm on it that I'm going to tell you the truth as I know it, and it's going to come from my heart. I could be wrong. You may not like what I have to say, but at least you don't have to decipher whether or not I'm have good intentions or if I'm being truthful, but doesn't mean that my truth doesn't mean I'm right. And so if someone were to come to me to lean on me through dark times, I'm going to try to steer them toward Jesus, like I did with you, right?
Sure.
I'm God and Jesus and all that. And I think that is still the truth. I think that is the best course of action. But, what Amy is showing here is that I know the truth that I know is that God still has a hand in her life and still is protecting her and watching over her. Whether she wants to accept that or not, that's up to her, and it doesn't matter, which is fine. But this goes to show you that, you can still be strong. Like
Absolutely.
so some people are like, well, I don't believe in God. I'm not going to. So instead, if that's the only way to be fixed, then I guess I'm going to be depressed. And you didn't do that, right? You're like, I'm searching. I have an emptiness. I have a void. I have to pay. And you've somehow found a way to fill your voids and move forward. And
I went through that though. I went through a struggle of my faith, and when my grandma died, and she was the most important person in my life.
Yeah.
For so many years, and Raymond believed in God, and we didn't go to church, but I felt like, okay, that's just the natural.
I've got a tattoo that I stole from him.
On your stomach?
Only God can judge
Yeah.
me. It was from his arm.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I struggled, and I remember sitting in the McDonald's parking lot, pissed off when my grandma died.
Yeah.
And, and then I got pregnant with Dominic. I mean, within a couple days.
Yeah.
And, and then it's like, we've had conversations. It's like, this isn't a coincidence, but you're not going to convince me anything different.
Yeah.
I love that you have that for you. I love that you have something so amazing that you can turn to. And I don't judge you for it. And I don't feel like you judge me.
No,
I mean,
not at all.
it's just something that I just can't.
I just say you just haven't figured it out yet. But.
Well, that's fine. You can say that. It's fine. I mean, nobody wants to think that in the end, it's the end.
You're just going in the dirt.
Yeah. I mean,
dirt,
obviously, right? But, I don't want to, it was hard because at the time when Raymond died, Raymond's mom wanted to have more of the
religious
side, and I wasn't religious. And,
I thought it was nicely done.
I mean, that was his mom,
Yeah.
and she was everything to me. She
Sure.
still is.
Yeah.
I still talk to her almost daily.
Yeah.
So obviously, I wasn't as, I don't know, at that time when you're struggling and going through that, I was just trying to survive. I wasn't trying to do anything but just figure it out. I had a house to clean out.
You got to put one foot in front of the other.
What got me through is I had a core group of amazing friends and family, and I couldn't have gotten through it without them. There's a few in particular that just didn't leave my side, and they know who they are, and I really don't think I could have survived without that. The nights when you have,
I always liked your guys' friend circle. They've always been tight since
Yeah.
you guys have stayed friends, and those are good,
Nikki,
good.
Rachel, they both heard me, I mean, Nikki was the person that was there cleaning my house out when I wasn't there, when I was at work. And I just, when you have a person that dies, when, Dominic was 11, he was wanting to be playing video games at his friend's house, and I'm sitting at home alone in an apartment, I couldn't go back home. I never went back home. And everybody leaves, the chaos is over.
Yeah.
And their lives go on, and your life is standing still as you know it, which is what, happened to me. And had I not had those people that were there for me when I would call at any time of the day or night, I probably couldn't have gotten through it. So I don't want to say easy. It wasn't easy, but I couldn't have gotten through it without them.
Yeah, no, that's good. That's good tribute to them.
Yeah.
Well, so anybody that's watching this, if you're struggling in a situation and you just, God's not the answer for you and you're just not going to do it, you don't have to stay struggling. Amy showed that you can still be strong and put one foot in front of the other and still move on with your life, and hopefully one day you'll know God, but whatever, you're an amazing
You'll be
person.
the first person.
Yeah,
you'll be the first person that
like, hey, guess what I found?
I found God after all.
You know what? I'm going to stick. Hold on, I'm going to show this. I'm going to stick one of these little baby Jesuses in your purse. You're going to be like, I found him. I found Jesus.
Oh God, that's funny.
That's good.
You should have just stuck it in there without saying anything.
Guess what I found? You'd have been like, oh my gosh.
He really is. He does exist. I'm just kidding. Yeah. I would never I would never want to steer anyone away from it, or believing or having faith in something, but I guess you just have to have faith in yourself that you can get through anything. And
well, listen, aside from all that, the strength, whether you believe it or not, the strength that you have is a blessing, right? And it's awesome. You've been able to compartmentalize where you've had to and
suppress.
Right. And I call it the duck on a pond. You're just kind of cruising along, and your little feet are in the water, kicking like hell. And you're doing what you got to do to survive. And so, kudos to you, man.
Thank you.
You've raised some awesome kids, and
I did.
Kudos to your kids for
awesome kids.
The strength and the courage that they've had to go through this stuff. Raymond, Courtney, Dominic, love you guys, and good stuff. Good stuff. Bad stuff. Good stuff. Yeah.
I was really, as I sit here, very, like you said, stoic. It's internally eating at me. I just know how to, maybe not. I'm not going to cry about it at this point, but yeah, I mean, it still is hard to talk about.
Sure.
It's still not an easy. I mean, I can talk about it, but you know me. I call you, and I'm like,
yeah,
I need to know what
questions.
We're talking about. Yeah, like I'm like internalizing and coming up with all kinds of things in my head that just I didn't want to make it such a like I don't want to make it like he was such a horrible person.
Right.
Everybody loved Raymond.
What a great ending on that one. It's just so true, too.
It is.
It is so true. I see this so much in these situations with people that struggle with mental health. Usually, everybody does love those people, and they just don't love themselves.
Look at Robin Williams.
Yeah, 100%. It's a great one. Yeah, no doubt. Well, Amy, thank you for being such an awesome friend for all these years, and I just love you dearly. And the only thing I regret is that we don't get to spend more time together. But we got
you
lives.
Live up north.
I know, up like close to Nebraska. Everybody says. It's funny. Somebody was saying the other day. I was asking if they could come up. They live way out like south, like by beyond Gardner,
Oh, right.
And he's a pastor, and he's going to come on, and we actually went to South Carolina and did those talks together, right? He was one of the other guys, and so he's like, yeah, I think I can find some time to get up to Nebraska. And what's so ironic about that is the guy that lives on the corner of my street, he's from Nebraska, and
he is?
they're like diehard Nebraska fans, and they always have like the big Nebraska helmet,
the Huskers,
the Cornhuskers, and he's got Nebraska, and he's got lights all over his house that are red, and he just didn't. I was hoping so bad the other day that he had all that stuff out. I was going to go by and take a picture. Hey,
just is that the guy you had on recently?
No, I haven't had him on yet. Yeah, no, the other guy, the very first guy I had on was Big Mike. Yeah,
well.
And then the other episodes will start dropping. Tomorrow's the second episode. And I'm going to do every Wednesday.
Oh, are you?
So that's my time to say, listen, follow along the Stronger Leaders podcast, and make sure you hit the like and subscribe and do all that good stuff, and hit the bell so you get notifications on your little phone when the new information drops. And we got content coming. We got a lot of people coming out. And, we're going to share a lot of stories, some dark, some not so dark, but I think that the purpose for everything that we do here is to give people some hope that life is okay. Life is okay if we can do it on our terms, right? And take control of your life and do life on your terms. And it's life's short.
It is short.
Life is short, as we know, and we don't know what tomorrow holds. And so live each day, love, laugh, and
through every struggle, though, at the end of the day, I mean, you got to get through to tomorrow and take one day at a time. That's what I did. So I think that if anybody can just hold on to the next day, I mean,
that's it.
Get some rest and wake up, you'll feel better tomorrow.
Well, and and I'm so horrible at quoting scripture, but there is a Bible verse that says, don't worry about tomorrow, because tomorrow has its own worries. You know what I mean? Just worry about today. Like,
God's got some good stuff.
Yeah. Little do you know. That's great.
JK.
Well, I love you dearly.
I love you.
That is the end of our show. Thanks for coming on.
Of course.
See if I can do my little outro here.
Do the.
That's it for our show. That is episode, I don't know what number that episode. This episode may actually be a extra episode that I do one week and drop it a little sooner. So make sure you hit that like and subscribe and hit that bell so you'll know when this episode drops. Take care.